North Carolina voters today will decide the fate of a controversial measure that would define marriage as between a man and a woman. More than 500,000 people have already voted in the state, either through early or absentee voting, so the result may be a foregone conclusion. Despite the fact that polls are open today, North Carolina Democratic Governor Bev Perdue is here. I want to talk a lot about what's going on in North Carolina today. Governor Perdue, let me start with this constitutional amendment. What will it ban besides gay marriages, in your opinion?
Great question, Chuck. This is our Rosa Parks moment in North Carolina because it's about taking away rights of people, civil rights. If I'm 80 years old and have an 80-year-old guy I'm living with because of my other retirement arrangements, if he's sick in an intensive care unit, it takes away my right to be a family to go in and see him. If I'm unmarried living with a guy and I have a little girl, she'll lose her health care insurance because I won't have the benefits of a contract. If I've been in a domestic violence situation, I'm very likely to lose my ability to claim domestic violence. So this is about civil rights. It's about taking away rights. You know, as the governor of this state, the extreme folks who've been running the General Assembly, the legislature, this new Republican group, have spent this past year not on jobs and not on moving us forward in education. They've messed around in our bedrooms and our classrooms. And the people of North Carolina, I hope, are sick of it and stand up and vote no on this amendment.
Well, why do you think it appears that this is going to pass fairly overwhelmingly? And granted, is it because this became simply about gay marriage in the minds of most voters?
Well, you know, we have a very clear statute on the book that defines marriage in North Carolina as being a man and a woman. So today's vote, though some of the extremists has labeled it as about marriage between a man or a woman, it's about civil rights. It's about taking away rights of North Carolinians. Nobody knows if it's going to pass or fail. We've all learned over the years not to believe the polls until the last vote's counted. We've had a huge early turnout that's good for North Carolina and good for voters. And so at the end of the day, we'll know, but we've got 7 or 8 more hours of voting, and I'm urging everybody to get out there and vote no. This is a big day for North Carolina. Chuck, this hurts our brand. Our state has been known around America and around the world as a progressive leader, as an inviting state, the hub of business and opportunity. This is bad for business.
You think that the Democratic Party should hold its convention in this state if it ends up passing a constitutional amendment like this? Put it this way, let me ask you this. Do you think Charlotte, if this constitutional amendment had been on the books, do you think that would have cost Charlotte the Democratic convention?
No, Charlotte was chosen because of the spirit of North Carolina and because the president and his team, you know, really has had great experience in this state. You know, nobody thought he could carry this state in 2008. He's going to carry the state in 2012. The convention's going to give a lot of people an opportunity to see North Carolina. It will give us a showcase around the world. It will give Democrats a great place to come together and launch our winning fall campaign.
Are you for gay marriage?
You know, again, today is all about issues between constitutional. It's about civil rights between women and men, married and unmarried. It's between all kinds of issues. We have a law in the book that I voted for that defines marriage as between a man and a woman. At the end of the day, North Carolina is talking today about taking away rights. And
no, I'm just asking your personal, you're not for gay marriage.
My personal opinion is reflected in my vote. I'm against this amendment. I really am against this amendment. We have a piece of legislation that defines marriage as being between a man and a woman. Today is not about Chuck. It's about simply trying to beat this amendment that pushes North Carolina backwards. And then we'll have another opportunity to talk about how the whole country needs to sit up and address this question.
Do you think this needs to be a national conversation?
I don't think it needs to be a national conversation quite now. I mean, it will become a national conversation. This president and this governor and this state and country need to focus on one thing, and that's turning our economy around the way the president has done for 17 consecutive months. We need to continue to work on growing jobs and educating our children so we can be competitive in a global economy. And right now, we've totally lost the focus this week in North Carolina because we've been focused on bedroom issues that don't belong on the ballot box today.
I know, but you understand why it's a sort of an odd line, and you and the president apparently are very similar. You're against a gay marriage ban here, but not for gay marriage. It's a thin line to walk here, and it does leave some voters sort of scratching their heads. You got to understand that, right? Well, this was apparently we had a technical issue here. This is Not Governor Perdue's fault. This was not her not wanting to answer that question. It was simply an audio issue. We will be sure to get you the answer to her question after the break. Anyway, well, that was an awkward technical issue. I'm going to go back to Governor Perdue for that last question. I didn't want people to think somehow you were walking off or didn't want to answer the question. The question was, do you understand...
I thought you hung up on me, Chuck.
Do you understand the awkwardness of basically saying you're against banning gay marriage, but not for it? And that's where the president is. It sounds like that's where you are. It's a head-scratcher to a lot of people watching this debate over the last 48 hours.
Chuck, let me just be very direct. Y'all can continue to scratch your head for another 48 hours. It's very important to me that the folks in North Carolina who have not cast their ballot understand that this constitutional amendment takes away a lot of civil liberties, civil rights. It is not about gay marriage. That is not what this issue is about. We have a statute on the books. So for the voters of North Carolina, don't be confused. Go in there and vote no.
All right, Governor Perdue, we'll leave it there. Thank you for bearing with us on the technical difficulty, and we'll see you again, I'm sure, soon.
So you really didn't hang up on me. I'm glad.
I really didn't hang up on you, and you didn't take away the mic, I think. Very nice. Thank you, Governor.
Thanks, Chuck. Have a good day.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.